Hey there, Stampin' friends. Welcome to Movie Monday with Jody Breckville, Stampin' Queen. Today I thought I would share this card with you. This is called a double gatefold card, and this is actually a copy from another demonstrator, Lisa Curcio, and I saw her video online and I just fell in love with the card. I love the idea of it. I love the simplicity of it, even though it's a little bit of a wow, and the colors. So I thought I wanted to share this with my wow group this month. So let me do a quick video tutorial on this card. So we're going to use the Grateful Bunches stamp set, and we're going to use darn near every single stamp in here. So the first thing that we need to do is take a piece of Bermuda Bay cardstock. We're going to fold that one in half. And I like to have my bone folder so that I can make that fold nice and crisp. Now we're going to take our Stampin' trimmer, and I'm going to cut off 2 1/4 off of one of the edges. It does not really matter which edge you choose because there is no front and back to this card just at this time. So I'm going to take this edge here and lay that right at 2 1/4. Make sure it's nice and straight, and I'm just going to trim off a little piece. Now this piece we're not going to use. You could use it as your scrap piece, which we will need a little bit later. So now we have that little fold on. Now we do have a front. And we're going to use the Elegant Dots embossing folder, and since there is a front to this card, one of the little tricks I use is wherever I see Sizzix and Stampin' Up, I think of that as the front of my folder. That's the image that's going to be raised up, and these little guys are made that they're a little bit smaller on the back than they are on the front, which allows you to put your piece of cardstock inside and fold it around the back just like that, and be able to run that through your Big Shot machine. And this is what it will look like after you are finished. So that's our card part. The next step is to take a little bit of a smaller piece of Whisper White, and we're going to fold that one in half as well. And that's going to be the center of our card. That one is just going to go right inside like that. So then we're just going to do some stamping. I have 2 pieces of Whisper White here, and the first one I'm going to stamp the leaves in Bermuda Bay, and just stamp those on the front of my card. That one I'm going to set aside for a second because I want to do this was the piece that's going to go on the inside. I'm using Pumpkin Pie. And I want to stamp the real long piece of, I guess it's like trim, kind of Victorian lacy looking, and just do that right across my white piece. Pull in a little bit of, our Memento Black. I do like to use the Memento with my photopolymers because they don't stain it as badly as our archival black. This stamp set has 2 sentiments that kind of go together. This one says, "You are totally awesome," and the other one says, "And I am totally grateful." So now I'm going to pull in that center piece, and I'm going to do my sentiment inside while I have the black ink out as well. I already have a little smudge there. I must have some on my hands. Okay. Scoot those out of the way. I'm going to pull in, this is just a little bit of scrap paper. Any size is fine, but using the Pumpkin Pie, I want to stamp my 3 flowers. They're all on one stamp, which is really nice. You can stamp them and punch them out all at one time. So stamping those 3 flowers on there. And then I'm also going to stamp a butterfly in the Bermuda Bay. I could just leave these open. It's probably annoying listening to me open and shutting ink pads, but there's a very high chance that I will stamp the wrong stamp in the wrong color. I don't know if you guys have an issue with that as well, but I'm known for that. If the pad's open, I kind of stamp in it, and a lot of times I mess up my projects by having open pads on my table. So here's our flower punch that coordinates with that stamp set, which is awesome. So you just line that up. Punch those guys out, and then I'm going to take my 1 1/4 circle punch and punch out my little butterfly. On that piece that I trimmed off that I'm not going to use, I'm going to pull in my 1 3/8 circle and do a punch on that one. Oh, that's rolling off the table. And somewhere I have some adhesive. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach our butterfly. He's just going to go on that circle. So it's just a little bit of a mat right there. And this is a direct copy from Lisa's card. I just loved everything about it. So shout out to her for doing an awesome tutorial on this. So taking this, the You Are Totally Awesome, I'm going to mount that on a piece of pumpkin pie. Okay, now that piece is going to attach to our inside card. And that's just going to go right on the front. And then with a little dimensional, which I don't know where they got to, got a small space and a lot of stuff. All right, dimensional on that little butterfly. And he's just going to go right here in the corner somewhere. Okay, so now I'm going to take this piece while I have it out and I have my ink. I think I'm going to stamp some of those flowers on the inside just so I've got a little bit of color going on there. You could also stamp the butterfly on the inside there too. Whatever works for you. Okay, so now just adhesive just on the back. That's all that we need. And I am not sparing when I do adhesive on a card like this because I want it to stay together. It's going to go on the inside here. It should have a mat of Bermuda Bay around the edges. Okay, this piece does not get glued down at all. That one's going to be a free flip, if that's a word. Okay, rocking and rolling along. I'm going to take the piece that we stamped our leaf on and attach that to another piece. These are the exact same size, which is awesome. Okay, now here's the little trick to this one. When you are attaching, you want to make sure that this one does go on first, okay, so that you are following the steps just like I'm doing here, because this piece is going to overlay over the top. And when you attach that one, you only want adhesive on this flap or this side right here because you want that to open up and not be glued to your card. So I just do 2 strips. You could also use fast fuse at this point to make sure that this is nice and sticky, especially when this is trying to attach onto something that's embossed. It's a little bit trickier. You definitely want to use a lot of adhesive or some nice strong adhesive. Tear and tape would work, sticky strip would work, your Tombow multi-purpose glue would work, mono and snail work just as well, but just make sure you have it nice and tight there. Okay, so that is how your card is going to open. That's called a double gatefold card. So the next final step is just a little bit of assembly. So some pop dots on these little orange flowers here. And you can attach them however you like. I think I need to trim one here just for that wee little guy. Okay, there it is. There's your card. So now your final would be to run some, I have my really skinny Bermuda Bay stitched ribbon here, and I just ran that through around the inside and then just tied a knot here, and then I did a little bit of bling on the inside. So I hope you enjoy that card. That is a super quick card, kind of a wow with not a lot of work. I think whoever would be receiving this would think, wow, you are totally awesome, and they are totally grateful. So anyway, thanks so much for joining me, and hope to see you next week for Movie Monday.